You ready?
I'm ready. I'm starting this recording here just to be on the safe side.
Okay,
I
here
guess
we
I'll
go.
turn off studio
Oh,
mode, make this window big, smaller. Sorry, I'm sorry. I did not mean to be
no,
talking to myself. So
no, I didn't even do nothing yet.
I didn't do it. Ah!
I gotta still see if my shirt punch shirts, t-shirts came in today. I'll do that after the podcast. All right, let's go. Let's do this. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Optional Opinion. I'm your host, Eddie V. Thank you guys for tuning in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is a special episode because I have a special guest. He is part of the Nerds Gone Rogue crew and boss man of Codename NX and other things. You guys have heard him on the video games. You have heard him talk to me about EA and definitely have a great conversation about Destiny. Everybody, please welcome the one, the only, Corey Derrick.
Hi everybody. Ed, you really hype me up way too much. I don't. I if I ever have a live show, you're gonna be the hype man. That's the deal.
Well, thank you. Well, you always be like, hey, Eddie, I need hype from you. I want hype. And then I'll give you hype. You be like, okay, that's good.
Yep. Yep. That's how it is.
Now, and the reason why this is a special episode, everybody, Corey is joining me on this discussion, What a Ride, as the title's called, because we are going to be having a discussion about the Roller Coaster Tycoon series, one of me and Corey's kind of favorite things to do when it comes to simulation games. And what makes this episode special is that Corey, on his end, is recording this episode on Mixer. So we are kind of doing this episode live, where we're going to be in a chat. We'll probably hopefully take some questions. And if you guys want to follow us on Mixer, I am at the Lyrical One on Mixer. And you can also follow Corey at Corey in HD.
Yep, that's me. We're live.
Yes. So
Ed made me do it. I'm just kidding.
So yes.
Ed's graciously letting me do this live on my Mixer channel. So I appreciate you, Ed. I appreciate everything. I appreciate just the Eddie Venus.
Oh, I feel honored. I think. Yes, I do. Yes. So we are doing this so you guys will be able to check the live episode. You'll probably hear a sound difference from the audio quality. We're doing something different recording wise. Let's just say that. But hopefully you guys will enjoy this episode. But we're going to get into Roller Coaster Tycoon. And I'm going to give to break this one down, we're going to be only talking about Roller Coaster 1, 2, and 3. Because we didn't play Roller Coaster Tycoon Adventure, which is kind of the fourth game. And we know there is one out for Switch that...
No, we can talk about Roller Coaster Tycoon on Switch for a little bit if you want.
Well, you have thoughts. I haven't played it, so when we get there, here, the ball will be in your court. So,
fair.
Yeah. So we're gonna get a little bit, mostly about 1, 2, and 3. I definitely played 1 and 3. Not so much 2. Corey, you probably played what, 2 or?
I played 1, 2. I played a little bit of 3 at some point, but I'm mostly a 1 and 2 guy.
Okay.
I mean, I played them both extensively, so.
Yeah, and so we're only focusing on the 3 main games. We're not going to talk about the expansion packs or anything outside it, like some of the side games and stuff, like the mobile and everything. We kind of just wanted to focus on like the first 3 games because literally they all been successful in a way. So we're going to start off with the first Roller Coaster Tycoon. The first game was created by Chris Sawyer. He helped create the 4 main games. The publisher for the first game was Hasbro from 1999 to 2001. Infogames did the second one, 2001 to 2003, and Atari has done the third and fourth one, and some of the games for present. So 2003 to present. There have been six spin-offs from it. This game is an amusement park simulator where your goal is to maintain the park and make enough money to meet the goal to move on to the next land. Roller Coaster Tycoon was the best-selling PC game in 1999 with 719,535 copies, resulting in $19.6 million. By July 2002, it sold over 4 million copies, and this is before Part 2 came out. When it did come, when Roller Coaster Tycoon came out, it was only $5.99. So most of the series has been on PC, but it also came to Xbox and other consoles. And
Tell you what, that original
that
Xbox version, not great.
oh wow,
I
oh
wanted it. I had it for a little bit, and I'm like, man, this is. I don't know if this is worth playing, but of course I played a crap out of it anyway. So
yes.
building, I'm
So
just telling you, building with a gamepad, not great. And then
oh
I did
wow.
it. Then I did it again on Switch. Bad, whatever.
So we're gonna get into the first game. And like Corey, I want to ask you, how did you get into Roller Coaster Tycoon?
Well, there was a brief period in my life where I was really into like roller coasters and amusement parks and stuff,
Mm,
and I had Railroad Tycoon, because I used to be really into trains also. So my parents got me that
I love
when I
trains.
said I wanted like some computer games, they got me a Railroad
Mm.
Tycoon 2 Gold Edition for like $5 at a yard sale or something. Uh, it didn't even have like a proper case. It was literally just in like one of those thin jewel cases that you put CDs in. And I was
Yeah.
like, man, this. And then I played the crap out of it because it was awesome. Like, you just, what you did, they gave you like a random map, and you had to be able to connect these cities across this map, and make sure your trains didn't wreck into each other while they delivered goods and services to other towns. And then I wanted more games like that, so I started uh, looking at it. Kind of led me into like real-time strategy games almost, so I started playing a lot of Age of Empires and StarCraft and stuff like that. And then I just kind of, we were at where were we at one day? We were at Geauga Lake, which was an old amusement park by where I live. It no longer exists. I'm kind of sad about that. It's it kind of had like, I don't really. It kind of had like this small town amusement park feel, but then they started building giant roller coasters, and it was
Yeah.
it was cool, and what happened after that is like I went home and like started drawing like roller coasters on paper because I was a dork, and that's what I did. Uh,
Same here. Same here.
uh,
Uh,
and then I went over to one of my parents' friends' house, who they had kids that were like around my age, and we would like swim and stuff together, and stuff like that. And they had two games on their computer. One was Doom, and for the older kids, and then Roller Coaster Tycoon for the younger kids. I was like, "What is this?" And they're like, "It's cool. You can build your own roller coasters, but you have to make money so you can build cool roller coasters." I was like, "Awesome!" So I sat, instead of swimming, I sat in their basement and played Roller Coaster Tycoon for like 2 hours, and I built a roller coaster, and then I was like devastated because I didn't, because like you have to test the rides before you open them to make sure
yes.
like they run correctly. Did not do that, so I opened a wooden roller coaster and people got on it, and then the cars crashed and blew up. I was like, oh no. So that's basically how that went. uh, yeah, so that was my first experience with Roller Coaster Tycoon, and then I got Loopy Landscapes, which was the first expansion. And I was so excited when they added like colored queue lines, right?
Uh,
They added like red, green, and yellow instead of just the basic blue, and then they added all kinds of like decorations and themes and everything, and a couple new types of roller coasters and stuff. And I was like, oh yeah. And then obviously followed up by Corkscrew Follies, the definitive expansion for Roller Coaster Tycoon,
Hmm.
which added special like you could always do like corkscrews on steel roller coasters and stuff, but they made a
Yeah.
specific type of roller coaster called corkscrew coaster, which had different rails on it, and you could make like really cool looking roller coasters. So that was kind of my intro into that roller coaster tycoon. So
So I have been a big fan of roller coasters as a kid. Here in the Chicago area, um, we have a city called Gurnee, Illinois, and that's where our Six Flags Great America um, is at. And ever since as a kid, just looking at these roller coasters, and they kind of reminded me of trains, but with more creativity and different things with gravity. The corkscrews and the teardrop loops and things of that nature. And getting on them, as a kid, I was scared to get on roller coasters. I mean, I always wanted to get on them. But every time I got onto the demon and stuff, like I would close my eyes when it went upside down, but then open them when I got done. But then I was just like, you know what? Let me face my fears and just see how upside down loop is. And just having all those thrills for years going to Six Flags and everything, I was just like, oh, this is just amazing. And just like you, being a dork, I would go home and I would create my own roller coasters. I would kind of like have a pen and just draw a lift, and then curve with the drop, or just do different things. So when 1999 came, no, not even 1999. At 2001, my mom had a Dell computer, and I had a job at that time, and I went to Target, and I see this thing called Roller Coaster Tycoon, and I was just like, "What is this?" So I ended up picking it up and getting it and installing it in my mom's computer, and played it almost every day I got home. Like I couldn't stop, because it was all I wanted to do was make roller coasters. I never thought of being a engineer or anything to design roller coasters, but it was just like all my pen drawings of roller coasters, I'm able to bring live. And so I tried to do that with Roller Coaster Tycoon, but then I realized that only have limited funds. Didn't know how to make a theme park or anything. Was just like I didn't even have the map to Great America to try to steal the design of that and use it for the game to see how I would go. I mean, I used to have maps of Great America, but I don't anymore. So that's kind of how I got into Roller Coaster Tycoon. Um, Sadly, though, I was only able to get to like the second level, and then that was it. I was never able to get past that.
well, the thing is like I always preferred the parks that were blank. Like
Yes.
that very like Forest Frontiers is the first level in level quote unquote in the original Roller Coaster Tycoon, and it's like aside from like not having all the rides available to you like by the time you upgrade everything, like
Mm.
it's like the perfect kind of starting point where like it's just flat. You can do pretty much whatever you want. You can buy like land and you know just really go to town and do whatever you really want in that first level. It really like allows you to have an open playground, and it's awesome. And then the second level, it's like I think it's the sand dune level with the mine train in the back, and it's a little bit different, and you don't get as much money from it, and it's just not as fun to
Mm.
do. Uh, but like then you move on and kind of get to like different size parks and different goals within a park, and you some of the parks are already built and you just have to help them survive a few years, and like getting through that and kind of unlocking the different types of parks towards the end is like the ultimate goal. But
Yes.
really, I just want and what I really kind of appreciated about 3, which I didn't play a whole lot of because I didn't really care for the mechanics of 3, but I like the idea of just they had like a basic playground mode where you could go in and they just let you kind of go through the game at your own pace and work on a park without having to like, you know,
The sandbox mode.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wait till we get to 3 because yeah, um, I 3 is my personal favorite of the games. But so in Roller Coaster Tycoon, uh, since it's a simulation of a amusement park game, you make your own rides. So you can make roller coasters, water rides, kid rides, stand still, something like a merry-go-round and things. And they would have some that was already designed, but some of the other stuff it was up to you to design. You get to test it, and depending on how much money you have, um, you will be able to make your dream park or have your dream coaster. It doesn't kind of teach you some things. You have to figure out, how you want the path to walk to around the park and to those roller coasters, and then exit out. You got to set your mission for how much people will pay to get in, and you will also be able to set if they pay to get on that roller coaster or that ride, and it was up to you. You had to put in bathrooms, put in flowers, like design different things to make it look nice. We also had to put food in because the people who would come in will be hungry. There was benches that you would have to put, and like I don't think they had tables. I think it was just all benches that they had, so people could sit down and eat. But you also have to make sure that if your roller coaster was too dizzying or too much, if you just open it up and don't test it and everything, people would get on it and then get off, go to the ground, and throw up. And so now you have to hire janitors to clean. So there was a lot that you had to manage and everything. And if you couldn't multitask in that game, um, you were able to, end up destroying your park and stuff. Or I was able to get through the first park just by whim. Like, oh, people like it, I'm making money. And the second one, I was just like, oh no, this is not good at all. Um, and so there was just multiple things that you did. So Corey, what did you like about Roller Coaster Tycoon, and did you dislike about the first game?
Well, the thing about the first game is like, and it's actually something I appreciate about it now, but at the time I didn't care for it because like when I first started playing it, I was what 10, 11, 12, somewhere in there, probably like 11 or 12, and it didn't really like I didn't really understand anything about finance or running a business, which
Same
spoilers,
here.
I'm 32 and I still don't know how to do any of that. But like the game doesn't really teach you how to like do that, right? And so like it took me a long time to figure out, why am I running out of money? Like, why does nobody want to do this? Why does nobody want to like why am I not getting any money? And then I like had to go through and I read the whole instruction manual, which by the way, super thick for Roller Coaster Tycoon. It's probably like, I don't know, quarter of an inch thick, and like I read about, because we didn't have the internet, so like
Right.
I had to read and so I read it and like learned about coupons and marketing campaigns and learning like the upside and downside of charging per ride as opposed to charging to get into the park and that kind of stuff, and it was like really helpful. And I just really, that's how I got into learning how to play the game, was actually reading the instruction manual, which is like, people just go on YouTube now and look up stuff, but at the time, like that's all we had, and
Right.
so I kind of learned about all that stuff through that, and like it's a very simplified version, obviously, of running a business, but like I kind of learned how to do all that through Roller Coaster Tycoon and reading the instruction manual, and it was very like eye opening.
Yeah.
So
It was just, you know, playing that game because the game is isometric. So it was kind of, to me personally, it was kind of hard to see how I was going to design this park and how much worth was that roller coaster and everything. Because, like, you could see your money go up, but then you would see it also go down because you was hiring help, you was restoring food, um, you was trying to add stuff and, you know, make new ground like digging or raising, and that costs money and stuff. And it was just like you would never know how much it goes into actually making a theme park,
mhm.
you know.
Yeah.
And see, I didn't read the manual. I was just like, oh, I just want to make roller coasters. And that was it. And didn't realize that, oh no, there is a game to this that I have to learn, you know. And I think one of the things was just like it was probably an assumption that people have played The Sims or they have played some kind of tycoon game, so they understand how this system works. But if you're new to it, you would never understand that.
Yeah. Running a theme park is hard, Ed. Making that fake money and selling people hats. It's tough stuff. Also, by the way, I actually like I really quite miss Roller Coaster Tycoon because they don't make the original version for Mac,
Mm,
and it kind of makes me sad. But like, I always started out like what I would do is like I would plan a layout. I would pause a game and make a layout of, because I like when I would go back, I would literally just play Force Frontiers, or like Bumbly Beach is another one where like it's just like a long vertical stage that you could probably only fit like, it's basically designed to be like a pier. Like, if I don't know
mm,
if you've ever been to like Atlantic City, or I'm sure Chicago or the West Coast has something similar, right? Like Santa Monica Pier is probably very similar, where like big Ferris wheel, maybe a little mini roller coaster, restaurants,
yeah.
that kind of games and stuff. Like Bumbly Beach is designed to be that style of level, and it's very difficult to create like a fun roller coaster thing. So like what I would do is I was like, okay, well this park's gonna be like 3 levels high, right? So like on the first level, I'd have like the Ferris wheel and like the merry-go-round and like some restaurants and toys and stuff, and then
Hmm.
and then I would build like a ramp up to like a second level, which would be like bumper cars and like go karts and that kind of stuff, and then
Yeah.
the third level would be like like 2 roller coasters, and instead of going up a hill, the first thing would be is you would go straight down and around the park. So like the tracks would like go around the park, and
Yeah.
it would just be this crazy like roller coaster that just surrounded the park. It's stupid fun, but it was
I
yeah, yeah.
I literally tried to do that. I tried to make a roller coaster that go around the park. Didn't work.
And then I made one that was like literally underground. Like you had to walk underground to stand in line and go to it, and the whole thing just took place underground. Because what I did was like, what I would do is I would make it on boosters, like
Uh-huh.
it just make like swirls all around, and people would be like really really sick the whole time. So at the exit, I literally put like 8 bathrooms and some benches. But the thing is like the really mean thing is you can charge people to go to the bathroom in that
Yeah.
game, like, and I would be like, $1, please.
And they would have to pay. That was the one kind of thing that you get to check each player who has money and stuff.
What? Sorry, you cut out a little bit. Sorry.
Oh, you were able to uh kind of find out like who had money and
Yeah.
stuff. So it was
Yeah.
it was I can't believe you charged them.
I did.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? Like you can click on each individual person that's in your park and find out what they're thinking, and like you can rename them and change the color of their shirts and stuff, and uh it's that you can see what they're thinking sometimes.
Mhm.
And sometimes people would be like, why do they charge me to use the restroom? Like that's literally something that they think while they're like walking out of the bathroom.
Yeah.
And then like what I would do, because like you have to keep people in your park to win some of the things. Something that Loopy Landscaped added was like a no exit sign, so like they couldn't leave that way through an area of the park, right? So what
Mhm.
you would do is put the no entry sign at the entrance of the park, so nobody could exit the park. Oh
Wow.
man, I was evil, man. I made people stay there forever.
And like yeah, so yeah. Because I kind of want to know, what did you dislike about this? Once again, everybody, you'll hear some tones and stuff. That's like notifications going off, and uh, yeah, I'll fix that later. So do apologize. But go ahead, Corey.
Oh, I was just thinking how fun it was to like charge people to use the bathroom, and like I would always charge like my park be really make it really expensive to get in, but then still charge like $1 for the rides and stuff. I just remember being totally evil. It was like kind of like when you play The Sims and like you would remove the ladder uh, the pool.
Yes.
That's how it kind of was.
Oh wow. Do you used to do that, Corey?
What?
You used to do that?
Yeah, it was funny.
Wow.
Yeah, and then you'd like lock them in the bathroom or in a room like this in The Sims. You would lock them in a room, and like they would be so tired and they would get really angry because they wouldn't have a bed.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a good time.
So much fun.
Yeah, man, games are fun.
Games will allow you to be evil. But you guys can check out for the video real games by you five. Feeling the villainous. Plug, plug, plug. Oh wow.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a good time though. It's like it's one of those things that's just like it's fun, and plus like it's fun. Like when you're done beating a level, you could like just turn on the roller coaster, like and make jumps and stuff, and watch the cars blow up with people in them.
now, yeah, I never tried to kill people in that game. I always tried to. Well, not into part three. I always tried to uh, be able to create a ride, and hopefully they would get on it and stuff. And sometimes some people would ride it and then nobody would get on. So it starts losing money throughout the time. I'm like, dang it. So I would have to like sometimes sell the ride or break it down to get money back and then create something
Yeah.
new.
Yeah, it
And
would always suck when you're like almost done with a roller coaster and you had to wait for people to come in the park to like put on the next piece. And then the month would end and it would be like go red, like negative because you had to pay your monthly bills in the game. And you would just see like it go from like because you would need like $51 to make one piece of the thing, and it'd be at like
yeah.
$49, and then you just see it go red, negative $230. I'm like, no. Oh man, I love that game, man. I I wish there was like a really good new version of that of like the old school games.
Yeah. I, I think one of the things I did dislike it is that I used to always make a track for the janitors and they would never follow it.
Yeah,
They
like because like you could like okay, you could. One of the things you can do in that game for people who don't know is you did eventually have to start hiring like mechanics and custodians and uh, security guards, and like you can make
Yes.
them patrol certain paths and kind of like, I'd always make a mechanic kind of walk around one or two rides, right? And
Mm.
you could also hire entertainers too, which was really funny because like it was only like three generic animals. Like I think it was like a tiger and a panda and an elephant or something, and
Yeah.
like they would walk around and kind of like, "Bleh." But like you would always get stuck. Like like you could edit the custodians and tell them what to do, and like they would never sweep up the vomit. They would always go like mow a patch of grass that was
Yeah.
like at the other end of the park that wasn't even built yet. And you're like, what are you doing?
Do it like, yeah, and it was just like, I didn't order you to do that.
Yeah.
Like you could go in and click on what you want them to do.
Yeah, it was
And
like a
I
it was
would,
like a checklist, and each person had like a different checklist. So
right, and they would never follow it. I'm like, this game is broken. I was just like, clean up this vomit, get rid of it. They would never do it.
yeah, it was
Okay.
just it was always gross too because it was just like you would be scrolling through your park and be like, oh man, this looks really nice. These topiaries look great. Like these flowers lining the paths look great. The fence looks nice, and then you just see this orange splotch on the cement, and you're like, somebody didn't clean up the vomit.
Right.
I'm
And
like,
you see,
it's not my fault you went on the twirl around and then the roller coaster and then like, the swinging ship all at the same time and didn't use the bathroom. Clean up your vomit.
right. And they were like, "Ugh." Like they would throw up, they had that sound effect when they did it. And I was just like, what the heck? I'm like, why? I just never understood it. Um, yeah. But also during this time with Roller Coaster Tycoon, EA kind of had a game called Theme Park.
Yeah, and like I remember the big draw for the theme park in particular was like you could ride the rides,
Yes.
but like kind of wasn't really riding the rides. Like they just had like a generic video that was attached to each ride. Like, yeah, you could ride like the Ferris wheel and you go around whatever. You could ride like but when you rode the roller coasters, it was always like there's like two or three different roller coasters that didn't exactly like go with what you built.
Right.
But I mean, it was a cool idea. It's just like I played it on PlayStation. I think was the first time I played theme park, and it
Yeah, I
was
think what console I think I played it on Xbox.
yeah. But then there was also this game on Dreamcast called Coaster Works, which
I never got to play that.
it was essentially like you couldn't build a theme park or anything. It was essentially you built the roller coaster you wanted to build, and then you could ride them, right? And that was like the whole gist of the game. I had it for Dreamcast,
Mm.
and like building the roller coasters was so cool, but I missed the roller coaster tycoon park building aspect of it, and it just I really missed Roller Coaster Tycoon, and when they announced 3, I got really excited because they also had you can ride your rides, you can like manage
Yes.
your park or whatever, and I was really excited, and it just I don't know, man. I think I own 3 on Mac because it did come out on Mac, but like I still think I might give it another shot within the next couple, maybe the
Because
next week or two. Like maybe I'll stream it at some point, right? Like maybe I'll stream some Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. But like when I played it, like it was just so different. It was just so 3D.
yes,
you know?
and we're going we're going to get into that one a little bit later. We're going to jump into Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 though. This game was released on October 15th, 2002 in the US, October 18th in the UK, and October 25th in Australia. This game sold 940,000 copies and made $21.6 million. You kind of did the same thing, but I think there was a little different things you can add on and stuff, but like not much of it changed or anything. Now, I skipped Roller Coaster Tycoon too,
I mean,
because I kind of went back to console game.
I mean, the whole draw with Roller Coaster Tycoon. I did play Roller Coaster Tycoon too, not as much as one because like I was playing a lot of sports at the time. It was kind of like
Mm,
there was this period in my life where I didn't play a whole lot of video games. I mean, I played because I love them, but I didn't get to play as much as I wanted to. And uh, Roller Coaster Tycoon was one of those games, or two was one of those games. But the whole draw was like Roller Coaster Tycoon got uh, the license to Six Flags, right? And then
yes.
and then they had like an actual roller coaster builder where you could upload your roller coasters to the internet and people could download your blueprints and build your roller coasters. And that was kind of like the big hook for two. So what I would try to do is like I tried to build Cedar Point, which is a pretty popular theme amusement park, uh, a couple hours from where I live, and I tried to build Geog Lake.
I want to go. I want to go to Cedar Point so bad.
I haven't been there in probably 15 years, 12 years. And the last time I was there, I was like I was too tall to ride some of the rides. My shoulders were too wide to ride some of the rides, and one of the rides I had to like squeeze in because the seatbelts were too tight, and I didn't want to be that guy that was like too too large to ride the ride. So I just didn't have a good time. It was kind of just like a I don't know.
Oh,
It
that
was
sucks.
it was just kind of like a weird time, but I mean, don't get me wrong. Cedar Point's a fun place to go if you enjoy roller coasters and everything. I just was like at this point where like I couldn't, you know.
Mm.
So, but that was the big draw, and like building the rides that I knew growing up and everything was really fun, and seeing people or seeing like because Geauga Lake, the park that's now closed by me, was they Six Flags bought them, and so all those rides were in there, and it was really cool to see. So that was the big draw for me for Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, or else I would have just stuck with one because like it was essentially the same game with Six Flags levels is
Yeah.
and don't get me wrong, I love the first one, and the second one was more of the same, which made me happy. But uh, yeah,
Yeah. Because during that time when two came out, uh, like I said, I was doing console gaming, but I was also going to college. Like that was I was kind of like in my second year of going to college, so I kind of was just like playing PlayStation, GameCube, Xbox. Like I was doing all of that, and kind of fell way to the wayside of playing PC games. Like I didn't jump back into until I started playing Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 and Grand Theft Auto. So I just like skipped to just like whatever. I got my console gaming going on. So, um, any other thoughts about Roller Coaster Tycoon 2? Or
not really. I'm way more nostalgic for the first one. It's just I don't know. I mean, two was fine, but like
mm,
two was more of like an expansion to one. I felt like, whereas one really kind of gave me everything I wanted. I wish they would kind of release Roller Coaster Tycoon remastered at some point, but
yeah,
the rights to that game are so all over the place. Like Frontier made Planet Coaster, which is essentially the new Roller Coaster Tycoon, and I really want to play it, except it's not available on Mac, so I don't know if I'll be able to. Uh, and then micro the original company that made it is no longer in business. I think they're called like Micro Labs or something. I forget. And then what's his name? Chris Sawyer, I think, I forget what he's doing now. I think he might be at the developer who's made Planet Coaster. I think he's still like involved somewhere.
hmm
But it's yeah, I don't know. I really have way more nostalgia for the uh
the first one.
the first game. So
Okay.
yep.
So, well, let's jump into the last one, which is Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, one of my favorites. This was developed by Frontier Developments. It was released on October 26, 2004. This game was published by Atari. It had a 3D world and design. When you got on the roller coasters, you get to do various camera angles for this. And there was a lawsuit to this that I didn't know. In 2007, Atari Inc. was involved in a lawsuit against Frontier Developments, the game's developer, and Chris Sawyer. During that time, Atari claimed that Sawyer was in breach of contract when he helped Frontier in developing an enhanced version of the game. The lawsuit ended with an out-of-court settlement. In January 2017, TMZ reported that Frontier sued Atari for not paying the company enough for royalties for the game. When Atari filed for bankruptcy in 2013, Frontier modified its contract for how future royalties would be paid. Atari has paid Frontier $1.17 million to date for Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, but Frontier observed from an unnamed third-party website that sales of Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 were much larger than Atari claimed, and under the new contract, Frontier would be owed an additional $2.2 million. Frontier seeks to have rights to audit Atari's records and claim the additional royalties it is owed. Frontier's chief operating officer David Walsh confirmed the report in statements to Eurogamer and GameSpot, stating that they had previously attempted to resolve the issue without legal action since April 2016. Later in May 2018, Eurogamer reported that the game was pulled from both Steam and GOG due to expiring rights. So, um, just to get everybody heads up. So I have a YouTube channel called Lyrical C. Uh, and on there, you can see my roller coaster designs from Roller Coaster Tycoon. I actually had to use my Sony camera to record it, record on the monitor because
Wow.
I didn't have no kind of recording equipment to stream or anything like that. This was early. Like this was my first PC that I had. Like I had an HP, so I had the desktop, with a desk HP and like a monitor. And so I recorded all my designs, and it's on my YouTube page. So if you guys go check it and see. And I love, and still to this day, because I watch even YouTube videos. Um, I would go into sandbox mode. I tried to play the single player campaign and said, screw it. This does not look right. I'm not having no fun. Um, but the sandbox mode, I was just like, I can make any roller coaster that I want and just look at it. Like this is my personal roller coaster, and I wish I was able to like spread it around the world and everything. But I built my roller coasters there and just like was able to take now my drawings as a kid and stuff because I still had them. I used to just make roller coasters out of them and just really thoroughly enjoyed them. And I would just like change the different angles to see. I have one of them called that's like a roller coaster that looks like Metroid if it was in a ball and everything. It has the color stuff because you was able to change the color of your car and the track and everything. Um, so I just had a ball with Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, and I think it's because of me making those roller coasters.
Man, good times, man. Roller coasters, building them, sharing them. That's the thing. Like that's one of those games that I feel like if Roller Coaster Tycoon was popular today, I feel like that would be one of the ultimate streaming games right now. Like I feel
Yeah,
like people would want to see like, oh man, how are you gonna like build this park, and how are you gonna build this roller coaster and everything. Like I feel like it would almost be up there with something like, man, what's comparable? Not something competitive, but like, and not to this level, but almost like Minecraft, where it would have like its own kind of community that's
hmm
sharing and building and everything. Kind of like, because like Minecraft is an extremely popular game, but it's something that like us and like our group of friends and other podcasters and stuff don't really discuss a lot because we're not that into it, but it's an extremely popular game. And I feel like if Roller Coaster Tycoon, if they made like a decent one now, right, like that would be the. I feel like it would be on like a Minecraft style community where they're sharing and playing together and talking and just really building a community around roller coasters and
I
so
I I could see Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 and 3, 1, 2, and 3 like a collection or a triple pack collection. If Wii U was still popular, I could see that being on that system because you got the gamepad and you got your stylus being able to create. Like I think it would have been easier to, you know, touch and go, like dropping and moving stuff around and everything. Like I would have been so down with that. Maybe maybe it could come to Switch or other platforms, who knows. Um but yeah, I agree with you. Like if it was popular, I think a lot of people would pretty much uh make it bigger than what it used to be.
hmm
It's, because right now, like simulation games like Roller Coaster Tycoon, when you think of stuff like that, you always think of The Sims.
yeah.
Full now, like you don't really think of
Yeah,
like
maybe The Sims is more of like more of the idea of what Roller Coaster Tycoon could be. Not like Minecraft is like way too big to be that,
yeah,
but like The Sims has an incredible like you want to talk about EA making money hand and fist off of Madden and FIFA cards. Like the Sims DLC plan is like they were talking about it on the Giant Beast cast a couple weeks ago actually, where
mhm,
like to buy everything in the Sims it would cost you almost like $3,000 or $4,000, and that's like such a huge like that's so much money to just buy cosmetic stuff, and it's like that's super interesting and fascinating that a game like that exists in such a like a I don't want to say like for like casual gamers, but like The Sims is kind of made for a different type of audience than someone like us, right? Like it's made
yeah.
for people who like a more slow paced, casual kind of. Oh, I want to see what happens when I marry Santa, like that kind of thing. Like,
It's I think they consider that as like almost a god tier game where you are the creator and you create everything and people come and follow your directions to make this civilization or this neighborhood or whatever. You don't do that so much in Roller Coaster Tycoon because that's kind of a different simulation. But yeah, I do agree with you with The Sims in that manner. You know,
yeah,
just having that community and stuff because you could just see the creativity that people have and ideas of how they want to have a family. It takes them out the real world and places them in a fantasy that they sometimes wish they were able to have but not. And there's a lot of people who are good at it.
yeah, yeah.
you know like it kind of boggles my mind though that people could do simulation games like this, but they can't make a Mario level.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. I mean, yeah. No, I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
like like you're good at creation, you're good at multitasking. Of you have a plan to make something, but when it comes to something simple as Mario, I think it's Mario making a level in Mario is scientific. You have to really do a lot of trial and error. You have to think about gravity, your jumps and stuff. You don't really have to do that same thing in the Sims. But if you are creative enough to do it, you can make Mario levels into a world like you never thought you could make in a Sims. Because
Yeah.
I can play the Sims. I would be like, my town's gonna look like Silent Hill. Folks gonna be dead and stuff. My game, I'm gonna keep getting game over because I'm just like I all the rules that I don't understand. But if I play Mario, I'm just like, okay, I could do a heal, I could jump, I could put this hidden item, I could trick them and stuff. Yes, everybody, I have made it through Corey's levels, earlier levels, I should say. But that's creativity that Corey and me kind of have. We have like where we could design levels where we could be great or we could be evil and stuff. Um,
Well, we know
Not
how
so
Ed
much.
feels about my levels, so
Uh, Not I wasn't angered. I made it through. So,
I just think you didn't like when the thwomp fell on your face when you
oh
jumped
shoot!
up through the thing.
I was just like, oh dang that bit, Corey. And I'm like, because you ain't put no checkpoint in it, so I had to do all of that over. Uh, but like Roller Coaster Tycoon, I think now is a game that I mostly for me now. Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 is a game that I want to revisit, and I've ordered it like about 3 or 4 times for Amazon because it used when I first played it, it was like $20 for the original version, and then later on in the year, I used to get it like for $1 or 5 for Amazon, plus that with the shipping, and it was just like this is cheap. I'm like, didn't nobody like this game or anything?
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, the thing too is like, I think, good old games or GOG, I guess it's just called GOG now. Like
Yeah.
they've done like the latest version of Roller Coaster Tycoon I played. My wife bought it for me for my birthday a few years ago for my PC that no longer functions. But it was on sale like the complete deluxe edition or whatever for like $6, and they what GOG specializes in is making old games run on modern machines.
Hmm.
And let me tell you what, man, that game from that launcher it ran like a dream. It
Yes.
was
I-
really cool to see that game run on a modern machine. So
yeah. And I gotta say, I do appreciate like the sound effects and stuff. Even though the game really didn't have music, it was good hearing the roller coasters and people screaming and stuff
I mean,
and everything.
I still hear the opening theme song to the game when you turn it on. Like when you get to
Mhm.
that menu screen, it's just that kind of whimsical kind of like do 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 like the chimes and stuff in it. Oh,
Yeah,
it's so good, man.
yeah. I wonder why the game never had clowns. Like,
Because they're scary. Nobody wants clowns.
I would put some clowns in it just to have fun, just to see what happened. Yes. So, Roller Coaster Tycoon World was the fourth game. We don't know nothing about it, but Atari made a game, new Roller Coaster Tycoon that came out for the Nintendo Switch. It was a game that they kickstarted, and they somehow made their goal, and then things were kind of iffy about it. Corey was dedicated. He was excited to. I'm assuming excited to play or intrigued. I would say you was intrigued to play the game and see what it'll turn out. And then you got
Yep.
it. And the report of this game is
Terrible. Maybe terrible is too strong of a word, but it's not. It's a very it's basically like a port of the mobile version with a few tweaks here and there to fit. Like it's not a new game from the ground up, because from the time they announced it to the time it came out, it was like 10 months or something, right?
yeah,
And it was like, man, how do they get this done so fast? This is gonna be either the most wonderful thing of all time or just a complete S show, if you will. And it seems to be the latter, other than the former. And once there's so much going on, like first of all, somehow it runs better in handheld mode than it does in docked mode. But also, like, when there's so much going on screen at one time, like it dips below like 10 frames a second constantly, and building the roller coasters is obtuse and obnoxious. You can't build queue lines. It's just like, okay, this ride holds this many people in line, and then it tells you how many people are in line, quote unquote, technically. it's not a very good experience, which is sad because like I was like, man, Roller Coaster Tycoon is something I could see myself popping in and out of once in a while, right? Like
Hmm.
on Switch, like if I'm sitting on the couch, I'm like, oh, I'm going to see how my park's doing, maybe build a new coaster or build a carnival in the middle of it, and like then I was just like, man, this story mode is terrible. Let me go check out the sandbox mode. And I started building a park, and like at first, like it's fine when there's nothing in your park, right? Like the frame rate's fine. Like it's people are walking in and stuff, and then you start building paths, and once you start really building a lot of rides, and there's a lot going on, and there's people entering your park, like some reason it just can't handle any of that, and it's a wonder. I'm just like, why would you even try to do this if you're not going to do it correctly, right? And like to tell everybody it's a brand new game and then to find out it's just a port of the mobile version is like also not great. And also the mobile version is free with free to play kind of hooks in it, kind of microtransaction stuff. The Switch version is $50.
Oh no.
It probably should have been about 30. uh, so I don't know. It's just sad because that game was something I was hopeful for. I mean, honestly, in the back of my mind, I knew it wasn't going to be great. But as a Roller Coaster Tycoon fan, I mean, I'm sure you've played games that you're a fan of that franchise or that
Hmm.
that those characters or whatever, and it just ends up being just a terrible game, and you just wait for the next one, right? And
Yes.
it just kind of sucks that I was a fan of Roller Coaster Tycoon for a long time, and to have it on a system that I love, and to be kind of mobile friendly is just not. It was pretty disappointing too. Put it nicely, I would say. I'm sure a lot of the people who worked on it worked really hard on it and stuff, so I don't want to be too
Yes.
harsh on them, but like just felt really rushed and not optimized, and so
And they probably just didn't feel like we cannot put this out. Like this is not none of our good work. That like they knew they had to make something within the budget of the Kickstarter that they made, but they probably feel like we need more money to bring out this experience, and it may not have turned out that way.
yeah.
So because I'm like kind of in a sense, look at Civilization 6 on Switch. Like it came out and it did wonders. It did good sales, and a lot of PC games that are coming to Switch are doing great sales. So it's kind of weird to see something like as big as Roller Coaster Tycoon not do so well on that system, on that platform.
Yeah.
So, well, everybody, Corey, do we have any questions? Did you get any questions about?
No, Deshaun is in the chat. He says, hey. He just said that he's hyped for Optional Opinion. He likes Roller Coaster Tycoon a lot. We had a couple of lurkers. Nobody really asked any questions, so
Okay.
I mean that's fine. Whatever, newer mixer streamer, and we're kind of testing out some stuff and kind of, well, it's all right. It's all right.
Yes.
Sometimes
Yes.
sometimes people just like to watch and listen. So it's not like our normal, like the NX show where we get questions a lot, and so you know,
Yes.
learning just to stream live is also something that we should learn on Mixer, since that might be what we're going to be doing more often. So,
Yes. That is very true.
Ed, I have a question for you though.
Yes. Ask away.
What would you want from like a modern take on Roller Coaster Tycoon? Like, is there something that you would like to see from, like, if somebody, and I know Planet Coaster is pretty much this game, but like,
Hmm.
if you wanted like a real modern version of Roller Coaster Tycoon, what are some of the features that you would want from it?
I definitely would like the blueprint thing to come back. I like that idea that you design your coaster and you share it with people and you get different blueprints and stuff. I would definitely would love to see wooden coasters of today, where they could go upside down, they could twist and turn. Um, I think another one I probably would kind of like to see uh, would be like something in VR, like for PlayStation VR or Oculus or anything. Like if you were able to make a roller coaster and put it out there for people who got the VR thing, and be able to ride those rides in VR. I think that would pretty much be cool to do. I definitely would like a neon roller coaster. So making your park at night look like it's in neon lights, the train tracks, the rails and stuff. I could think I would enjoy that, and also um, probably to be like get some exclusive things, like maybe do an exclusive version with Nintendo, so you can make your own Mario roller coaster, your your F-Zero roller coaster racing track or something. Um, Probably go to Microsoft and see how Halo or Gears of War train ride would be, or something like that, where you could design the part thing or the roller coaster, not roller coaster. You could design the ride, and maybe you guys are shooting stuff, you know,
Hmm.
and then when you come out, you win a prize or you get tickets or something like that. I think there's a lot of ideas and creativity stuff that I would want, and then just be able to explore, because I really think that Roller Coaster Tycoon, if it was to come back and they had all of these minor ideas that I just gave, I would definitely be excited to play it. I definitely would buy it for Xbox and for Nintendo, because I would want to stream I would want to stream it, but I would always want to share my roller coaster with everybody so people can play it on PlayStation. Of course, that could probably be something like crossplay in a sense, but it would be like, you know, if you have a friend who has Roller Coaster Tycoon, this is the community, here's their blueprints, and bam, there it is. Okay, let's see what it is about, and then go on like that. I would love to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, that all sounds really cool.
uh, yeah. And I think we didn't mention water rides, because I like the kind of the water rides that's out where it's a roller coaster right there, and then it just sits you at the top for a little bit, and then just automatically drop you, and you just hit water and spray people and stuff. I kind of would love to do that, or even see a tournament of people building roller coasters and having people vote for roller coaster of the week and stuff, like within your friends list or your community or stuff like that, around the world, because there's a lot of roller coasters in Germany and Japan, in Africa and Mexico. There's so many roller coasters around the world that we do not know of. And that's very creative and everything. Because I always look forward to what new roller coasters are coming to the various theme parks around the world. Um, and for ride-ons and stuff, I really don't know how much that can be, um, because we're talking about roller coasters. To me personally, that was kind of the focus of the game, is roller coasters. But ride-ons are also important. But I was just like, how do you do a ride-on? Like, how do you enhance a merry-go-round? Um, do you uh does it spin and then go up and tilt, and you're um like squishing people, or you know does it take you on a loop de loop, like how do you build from rhino, like the small little rhinos and stuff? um uh, I it would be interesting. I think there's a world that a roller coaster the roller coaster tycoon that could be connected and evolve for years and stuff, and then have like some special stuff to some exclusive things,
Yeah.
and maybe just like if your every roller coaster wins a tournament or gets just all this praise, we would actually see if it's able to be done in real life, and you have a chance to make an actual roller coaster for a certain park for following year. Like I would love to see that.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be really cool.
Yeah,
Deshaun did ask us a question now. He said, "What is your favorite roller coaster you've ever rode?"
my favorite one is a Raging Bull. That's at my Six Flags Great America.
Nice.
So Raging Bull is like kind of an open air roller coaster where you sit down and it you can look it up on YouTube, Six Flags Great America Raging Bull, and just it's a nice orange and kind of purple roller coaster, and it's one big drop. I mean, like it looks like you're about to hit the ground, but the hill is long. It's probably about almost 3 minutes of a roller coaster that you're riding. Um, I could say also Shockwave and Tidal Wave and stuff like that, but Batman was another one. Because when Batman came out, the movie had just came out. So, Batman the Roller Coaster and Batman the movie with Michael Keaton, um, uh, in line, you would hear the soundtrack to the first Batman.
That's awesome.
So you would hear Party Man, and you would just see everybody in the line dancing.
That's
Like
that's awesome.
dude, it was so cool. And so, you, of course, you hear do 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 something that almost sounded like the Batman animated series
Right.
uh, thing. But like every time Prince song came on, it was just a great feeling to dance. And when I mean everybody was dancing from people entering in till the time you got in the line, people were just hyped. And that ride, I think, is like only a minute or so. So it was like different. It was moving real quick because they had like two trains.
Right. Yeah.
So
Uh.
Superman was cool, but yeah, those two are kind of my favorite. Or some of my favorites.
Hmm. Uh. My favorite roller coaster. Hmm. There was one uh at Geauga Lake called the Serial Thriller, which was kind
Mhm.
of like a. I remember it was like a big deal because the at Cedar Point there's a roller coaster where you hang, like where you sit in a chair and your feet dangle, and you hang below the track, called the Raptor,
Yeah.
and it's like one of the best roller coasters ever. Like I used to love that ride. Uh, the last time I went there, it was a good time. But it was a big deal that Geauga Lake was getting a similar style roller coaster, and it was called
Hmm.
Serial Thriller, and it was like taller. They made it a big deal because it was taller than the Raptor. It had just as many flips and stuff, and we used to get season passes to Geauga Lake, and we would go and like it was it was like, oh man, it was awesome. We would like take our shoes off and put them off to the side, and we would look like, oh, it was just so cool. Like that, I remember that just very vividly, of like me and my friends standing in line for that, and uh, that was a cool roller coaster. I also like, and I know they're not really kind of like quote unquote real roller coasters or whatever, but like when we go to Disney World every year, they have a
Hmm.
selection of really awesome roller coasters. That was funny. I had to laugh.
Sorry, Roddy.
uh like Space Mountain, and
Yeah.
the Snow White's and the Seven Dwarfs Mine Coaster is really cool.
Yeah.
Expedition Everest over at the Animal Kingdom down there is really cool. It's like you're like a runaway train through Mount Everest, and you're being chased by a giant yeti, which is really cool. And like the cool thing about those rides is like they're not just like a roller coaster. It's always just like an experience where like the ride is telling a story as you go through, right? And it's you see all the animatronics, and and sets and paintings and everything as you go through. It's like really quite an experience, you know. So I
Yeah.
really enjoy those as well.
As a kid, I was in my mom. We went to California, so we went to Disneyland,
Yeah.
and we got to experience the Michael Jackson
Oh,
roller coaster.
the Michael Jackson roller coaster.
Well, it was a ride. It was a ride on.
Oh.
Uh, so there was a video of Michael Jackson and everything, and so you water would feel like it's on your legs because it used to be like messes on the screen,
Oh
or
yeah.
you would see rats running through the floor, and so there'd be a
Oh.
brush hitting your leg
Oh, was it
to make you
like
feel like rat.
was it the Captain EO's thing?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because they used to have that at Epcot down at Disney World. They had it for a while, where it's kind of like it's just like a 4D experience where
yes,
like the theater kind of moves with what's happening on screen, and then like it kind of makes you feel like you said, like when the rats come out or whatever, and like they kind of run across your feet, but it's really like little air bursts or whatever. Like it's
yeah.
really like, yeah, crazy. Uh, yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, Disneyland. I went to Disneyland as a kid in Cali. Disney World in Florida. I went for my eighth grade, and then I went for my sophomore year, and I got to sing at Epcot with my choir, and it was a great experience. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was hot as ever, though.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, look, Disney is hot every day until like it's just a hot mess down there.
I do want to go to Cedar Point, and my one goal, hopefully I can achieve this, is go to Six Flags Magic Mountain in California on the West Coast. I really want to go there um, and experience it because they got some roller coasters there that I'm just like, I want to ride this and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Well, the thing too is like I just never really uh I have kind of lost that affinity for like traveling to go ride stuff. Like there's a small amusement park close about 2 hours away from where I live called Kennywood. It's in Pennsylvania. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers football organization owns part of it because they opened this whole section of the park called the Steel Curtain, which is all based around the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they built a giant roller coaster there, and I think it's pretty cool. But I kind of lost that kind of urge that I used to like try to go to other theme or amusement parks and stuff because like I've kind of like a grown out of it and b like I don't have the stomach for it that I used to, and like the motion and the speed and stuff kind of makes me bleh, so like Disney's roller coasters are about my speed now where they're just kind of like wee fun. Although the rock and roller coaster down at Disney is also very cool. It's kind of like it shoots you from 0 to 65 in like 5 seconds, and it's in the dark. All of it's in the dark, and like different parts of it light up. It's cool. It's a cool experience. If anybody's ever down there listening, you should try it out. It's really cool. But there was a point in my life where I was really into amusement parks and stuff, and I just kind of lost it as I got older, which I think a lot of people kind of tend to do.
mine's is more of a schedule thing, but I never get tired of it. I could always, if I get a chance, like I will buy a ticket, and even if I go by myself, and I know that's not the fun thing to do, but like if I get a chance to go to Six Flags, I go. I get myself. I pay for my own parking, and I'm there. I'm in front. I get to have fun. I get to meet different people, ride with them, talk. And sometimes I have my iPod and listen to a podcast while I'm in line. And then get on the ride and do what I need to do, get off and go on to the thing, to the next thing. Of course, I got to make sure that I give me a funnel cake sundae
Mm-hmm.
with ice cream. Like, of course, yes.
Funnel cakes, an underrated pastry. Just want to throw that out there.
Well, it's underrated because I don't like the funnel cake with powder. Just like, no, I
No,
need the ice cream.
I need it with like hot fudge on it.
Yes.
That's what
Oh,
I need.
yes.
You know, I mean, I can do the powder, like it's fine. I'm not like against it, but you give me a funnel cake with some hot fudge on it, you know, now we're talking, you know.
Yeah. Mine says, you could keep the nuts. Give me the vanilla ice cream, the hot fudge, the whipped cream, the cherry, like two cherries, and then the funnel cake itself. And I go like my mom, she bought one, and me, she's just like, I'm not gonna eat all of this. Me and her scoff that thing down because like it's so good. And Six Flags is the only one place that I get them at. I haven't got funnel cakes anywhere else. But I would love to go to like a carnival and stuff. Which you know what? I think that would also be cool to have an indie game, indie developer make a carnival game.
I mean, don't they kind of like almost do that though for like Dave and Buster's and stuff? Don't some game developers make like arcade games specifically for them? Because I remember there was like a few indie games that kind of turned into arcade games at some point.
Well, yeah,
I
but
mean,
like,
you know, I guess carnival games are different than like arcade games, but
well, like to I mean a carnival simulator.
oh, like carnival games.
Yeah, like a carnival like simulators. Well, not the carnival game like from Rockstar or 2K, not that kind of stuff. But like you get to design your own carnival and stuff. Like, but an indie developer like Panic Button or something, even though they're not indie or anything. But like Panic Button, let's say they wanted to make it their own game, and that was one of their games where you design the carnival. I think that would be cool.
Yeah, no, I think that would be pretty cool too. Like, you know, I know Carnival Games is like the standout one from 2K that they just keep re-releasing on everything, but
Oh, shoot, yeah.
but
It's
you know,
so good on Switch, so can't be
it's
mad at it.
sold good on everything. It's sold good on Wii.
Well,
So
yeah. Well, yeah, we not Switch. I'm sorry, because it's not on Switch yet. So, but yeah, everybody, that is going to be the show. Thank you, Corey, for coming on talking about Roller Coaster Tycoon. If you guys can get your hands on it, I do say give it a try. You know, if you feel like you need to play one, two, or three, find a way to get your hands on it legally or other methods, I should say. But it's a really great simulator game, and it's so well and everything. But yeah, Corey, would you like to plug anything?
I mean, I guess just, you know, the NX show with, you know, Ed, you and I do the NX show every Saturday live. And then it comes out on Wednesdays. And then I guess, you know, I'm trying to build my Mixer following, so you can follow me on mixer.com/CoreyNHD. And then if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can go to CoreyNHD713 on Twitter. You can follow me there. I don't know, man. I'm working on a bunch of different stuff that I need to fill you in on that I haven't decided on what to do yet. So Ed and I have a lot of like side conversations about a lot of things. So
Yes, we do.
and
A lot of
then we basically just turn it into podcast material.
yes, pretty much.
Let's be honest. But Ed, I appreciate you having me on. I love Roller Coaster Tycoon, and I love you. You're one of my best friends and favorite people to podcast with, and you know, it's always a good time, and I appreciate you a lot.
Thank you. Thank you. And yes, everybody, you can follow me on Twitter at that Retro Code. You can check more Optional Opinion on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and other podcast apps. Guys can check out the Beauty of Video Games Volume 5, Feeling Villainous, coming out in September. It's going to be 3 weeks of blogs and various podcasts with us, a lot of special guests talking about the great things about villains and what we love about them. So, guys, do tune in to that. Yes, continue to check out codenamenx.com for more content. Check out the NX show, like Corey said, that Jesse Douglas, Ray Apollo, Corey, and I do. check out Squad Goals and all of our other content that we also had on YouTube. Like I said, you guys could go to my YouTube page, Lyrical C, and actually check out some of my coaster tycoon rides and check out some videos that I'm posting on there. And by the time you guys hear this episode, I will have a stream up of Halo 5. Because I'm going to be revisiting that game. I am playing it on easy just to get through the story and everything. It just, you know, really enjoyed the game for what it is and stuff. But yeah, everybody have a great week, have a great weekend, and we will see you next time on Optional Opinions. And for our live audience, thank you for guys for watching on Mixer. Do follow us on Mixer, Korean HD, me, the lyrical one. You can also follow Jesse on Twitch. He is at Phantom NX. And also follow Way Apollo on Twitch also. With that, everybody, we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye, guys.